Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another route review. Hello, You must remember me, I'm Williams. It's been 10 weeks since the past route review, so here we are to do one again. Of course, I don't have a lot of route to play with. I'm just on this river here, but this river runs through a town called East Haven, I'm told, and it's part of the Catalina, Monroe, and East Haven Railroad. It's made by a friend of ours, Mason, and I suppose I'm going to just talk about how these waters are. Okay, I kid, of course. Welcome to another review. I'm Train Man, Ellis, otherwise known as Train Man, and naturally, we started with Williams. I didn't even set this up, so I had to do that for a moment. I'm a little bit rusty with the voice, so I apologize if it's not the best, but this right here, I'll zoom out, I'll show the extent of it. Not a whole lot done, but he's had plenty of other things to work on. Oh, you know what? I need a document for this. Let me grab it real quick. The backups folder. I'll make a copy of the document I used for the Green Gorge, because why not? And we'll call it the CM&E, because that's a lot of letters. I'm sorry that you guys can't see what I'm doing. So, a little bit of backstory here. Mason started this map quite some time ago, but he didn't really have a overall vision. He was using it sort of as a testing ground, as a playground, and he built some cool looking areas that we're going to play around in, including, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out these industries here, because there's not much else to do. At current, I should say. I'll use this guy. This is a jointed rail model, I think. No, spin that around. Why aren't we moving? Oh, crap. There's some cars here that... Oh, wow, I hope I don't crash the game by doing this. Okay, so I don't suppose I can actually... Alright, so there are cars here. They just don't exist. You know what? Let me do something really quick. No, I don't know. I wanted to go and delete missing assets, but... Yeah, you know what? Let me do that. So, I'll talk about the beginnings of the route for a minute. So, originally, I'm quasi-speculating, because I only know a little bit of, I only know some of the history. Let's make a, let's save as 72, usable. No. Review. There are still plenty of things missing, which I tried to remedy a little bit. I got everything I could off the download station, but the pack didn't quite fill in all the gaps, and it couldn't because some of the stuff is payware. So that's gonna hurt the content score a little bit, but this is obviously not a complete map. It's not even close, but that is okay for the most part, because it gives it plenty of opportunity to grow. So I deleted missing assets. You can see a lot of his roads being used on this map, which are very, very cool. We had that episode where he came on and talked about them, even though you could not hear them, or you couldn't hear him. But alas, it was a nice one-sided conversation. Why did it start me over here now instead of on Williams? Is he gone? No, he's still there. Okay. So let's go grab that engine that we were going to work with. Tell me the, oh, we don't have a driver anymore. Oh, they're no longer in their engines. Move the train. Can I move forward now? I can. Alright, so I'm going to pull these guys out. And go put them in a train. I don't know if there's a multiple industry here or something. Actually, let's turn on industry names. Alright, that did not help. No? Industry names? No industry names? Whoa, way too far again. Let me see if I can just fiddle with this so I can get some things to appear. Named objects. Also terrain objects? Shouldn't there be, oh wait, those are all here. There's, like, grass over there. Those are all broken a little while ago. I don't really need terrain objects. Trackside labels. Consists, that'll help. Triggers, markers, crossings, junctions. I'm not seeing any industries. Are there no industries? Okay. Well, we've got what we've got, I guess. So, turn the lights on. We'll go put these in the yard somewhere. Now, let me start. So, yeah, what was I saying? The rat started out as sort of Mason fiddling around, and he asked me if I would make a map for him, so I did. The map that I created was actually one of the most... I think it still is the most extensive... Oh, here's an industry. Okay, how come that doesn't show up on the map when I said industry names? That's strange. But... Okay, we're doing 14 out of 15. Let's, oh, wrong button. There's grass in the lake. This is, wow, this is actually pretty nice. We've got this highway that goes above this double-decker highway. That's nice. And so he came to me and asked me to make him a route. And so I said that I would, and I designed the Catalina Monroe in East Haven, which he had the name. I just sort of made a map, and it has 23 different towns. Like I said, it's one of the most extensive maps that I've ever designed. Those are empty. This has got aluminum rolling slab. I haven't had enough time to play around with this route and see what's up. But I don't know why the industry names aren't showing up. Okay, that doesn't help. I'm gonna see if I can pull past here without incurring any sort of insanity. And so, for the most part, he's been working on other things. He's actually been doing a lot of work on the Iron Horseman route, and he's been on... What has he been doing? He's been on the Minecraft server quite a bit. The server that I'll talk about a little bit later if I have some extra time. Oops, wrong way. Alright, so I'm going to try and get these guys out to the yard, which means I want to pull over here, pull into here. There's a consist there, so then we'll just back these into this track. Wow, these are some good sounding cars. We've got a red signal coming up. That is some bad track work. Somebody did not straighten that switch. But we are in the town of East Haven, which is at the far... It's not quite the far east end of the map, but it's close. It's the converging point of two lines. So the entire place is sort of shaped like a diamond. I'll point to them a little bit later. But overall, this has just been a playground for him, and it's come out quite nicely. I don't know where all the cars are. There must have been something broken that disappeared when I got rid of the missing assets. To run this properly, you need assets from the Milwaukee Road DLC. So, there's that. Oh, did I run past the red signal? Where was it? I don't freaking know. Also, this is not going down. I'll assume that's because I did a sort of awkward maneuver to get over here, but I feel like, is that not how you get over there? How come I can't throw that switch? Well, he stopped on a dime. How come I can't throw the switch? Okay, I can do it with J, I just can't click on it. There must be something blocking my, blocking the hitbox of it. So, anyways, if you are brand new to Root Reviews, we have 10 categories, and they are creativity, operations, track work, scenery, content, size, time, stock/era, world, and the bonus category. Bonus category already gets 1, so it's rated from 1 to 10, but the bonus points I give individually usually. So that means you have to have 10 things that make me go, ooh, to get a full 10. For the first one, number 1 is Williams. Second one is that bridge that's right above us. Because, I'm not sure if anybody else noticed, this is a railroad bridge that he's stacked this up on. This is not an asset. This is something that he put together, although that is a little bit low. So we're going to go down this way. So we're going to start with creativity now. And naturally, I designed the map as a whole, but he started working on this area like long before I did that. So we'll base the creativity on the creativity of this area in general. And for that, we're going to have a look around in just a moment, once I finish this maneuver and start moving back in that direction. Well, look, this is, sort of just a handful of stuff. I don't know why these would be spread out to all those different tracks, but I know I'm missing several cars, so... Turn around the other way, hit J. No? How come you can't throw that? We can't throw the switch. Alright, let's try and do it on the map. Okay, we can do the map. That works. Oh, wait. Shift J? No. Alright, whatever. Keep going. This is a little bit awkward. I feel like I probably could have pulled out past this way and then backed into the yard. So, creativity. Creativity largely is based on the idea that a map, when I look at it, should make me see things that I haven't seen before. Or at the very least present them to me in a sort of unique way. Although unique, it doesn't have to be unique. Eventually, obviously, you run out of ideas, and everyone builds off of everyone else. But I think this deserves a fairly high creativity score for things like this, for things like this. For the amount of work that was put into just this area, this building, this, not this building specifically, I mean just the general, everything that goes on here. You'll notice that this engine is reskinned, as are others. And that definitely helps the score that I want to give it for creativity. And, however, I mean, at the same time, no, you know what, I don't even know. I don't know at this point, because I'm leaning towards something that's very high, because Mason, for everything he's done so far, has just showed off that he can sort of come at things from a completely different angle than I'm used to seeing out of a route. And include the kind of detail that I'm not used to seeing at all. Something like the bridge and stuff like that. So, Yeah. Now, we're in East Haven. Like I said, East Haven is at the eastern end of the map-ish. And this river that runs down the middle is called the Damien River. And it, if you'll notice, it has railroads on both sides of it, but primarily what's going on here is there's a route that runs off this way. This is the main line. There's the route that runs off this way, if I'm looking at it correctly. Am I looking at it right? Oh, which way is north? Let me zoom out. No, that doesn't help. Which way is north? Oh, whatever. There are lines. They go off in different directions. I'm confused. I don't really know. Either way. Oh, wait, this is west. This is west. Okay, so that means north is this way. So, okay, it's kind of what I thought. This is the main line that runs this way is the main line of the railroad. There's a spur that runs down this way. There is the main line that runs this way along the river, and then there's this spur which goes out towards a former main line, basically. So, and I don't know how he's interpreting the map necessarily, but that's how I set it up. But the fact of the matter is, he designed all these converging things before I came on scene. I don't think he's messed with the track work that much since I came up with the map. He's mainly just done details and roads and things like that. So, I mean, the era is not all that special. At least I don't feel like it is. But a lot of the things still jump out at me. And just in their execution. So, honestly, I think I'm gonna have to give this one like an 8, at least an 8, maybe a 9 even, because honestly, I'm just kind of impressed. Okay, you know what? It's not showing me the locked. Oh wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, there must be something going on with the hitbox of that bridge. Let me put the reverser in. Yeah, there must be something going on with the hitbox of that bridge, because that's what's letting me not click on these switches. So anyways, so I think I'm going to have to give it a 9 for creativity. I very much like this map, and I'd love to see more of it come to fruition, despite the fact that there's not a lot of work being done on it at the moment. Now, the next one is operations. Now, because of the fact that this is horribly unfinished, there is not a lot to do other than switch the yard. And while it provides a number of interesting switching opportunities, the main thing that I look for when it comes to operations is not the ease of human operations, but the ease of AI operations. Let me do... Now, some of these switches are named, which is very good. That'll help your operations score. Let me slow down and stop here, and then uncouple these cars. I'm gonna see what else I can do. I noticed a place to take those tankers earlier, so I might do that. So we're gonna stop. Let me look on the map real quick for something else that could help. Now, I'd noticed a lot of invisible signals. That is really good and really clever. Map display options. No, let's zoom out all the way. Map display options. Triggers. Okay, those are for the ATLS crossings. Markers. Okay, there are a handful of markers. Not great, though. Crossings. I don't even know how that would show up. What is this over here? I think this must have been him playing around with something. Whatever. Strange. But, so we've got a lot of signals, we've got a lot of, we've got a couple of track marks, we've got a lot of named crossings, named junctions. Oh, this is nice. And a lot of drawbridges as well. So there's that. I don't know, but whatever it is, the operation score is not going to be particularly high. This In particular, is a strange engine shop, but I can see why it would be done like that. The signals are back to back here. And as far as I know, there aren't any interlocking towers set up. But barring that, even if there were, they wouldn't really matter particularly much because you can't send AI trains through this map. The fact of the matter is there aren't any portals or anything because this is kind of the middle of the map as it stands. And also there are a bunch of switch stands with no switches attached to them. So that'll screw up AI. So I honestly, I cannot in good conscience give this more than like a 3. Because there was a lot of effort put into setting up the operations for this. But it's not there yet. It's got a long way to come. Also, the industry names still aren't showing up, and there were I only saw one. I only checked 2 industries, but not all of the industries were named. Now, as for Trackwork, all right, where do I have to put tank cars? Are these guys full or empty? These are empty. Are they all empty? I don't really care. Ammonium nitrate. Is that what this accepts? Ammonium nitrate? Doesn't say. I'm going to just assume that they don't. That there's not actually, there's not actually something set up to consume there. So let's go over here. We've got pulpwood. And in a very interesting fashion. Okay, so this unloads logs. Now, I think we need to sort of jostle those to get them to unload logs. Is this picking up stuff? Handbrakes applied. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some more boxcars over here. So I'm not really sure what else is going on. Now, Trackwork. Now, I already commented on the Trackwork once. Whoops, daisies. Whoa, game, what are you doing? I already commented on the Trackwork once, but for the most part, the Trackwork is solid. There are some questionable decisions here and there with the design of the Trackwork, but for the most part, it seems like, Mason, you've got a good grip on what it takes to build these smooth curves, transitions, etc. In fact, probably a better grip than I have. Because it's impressing a little bit. So, that said, aside from a couple of minor things, if I hadn't noticed that over there, I would probably have just given you a 10. I don't know. But there are still things that I go, I'm not sure. I don't know. There are some maybe questionable things, specifically this right here. It's a little bit wonky. But at any rate, let's go back to the engine because we're approaching the switch. I'm going to need to throw the switch. Let's go over there. I do like these switch stands, though. I assume they're JR or something. So, Trackwork, I'm going to have to give you a 9. Because overall, it's very, very good. Oh, scenery is the next category. Well, the areas that are scenic are extremely good. So I'll give you that. But I can't give you any more than a 4. And a 4 is really pushing it. A 4 is more of, well, I'm impressed with what is done. And not how much of it is done. Obviously, there's a lot of map here that is relatively untouched other than it's been painted brown. But for the most part, you seem to have done a lot of work for the sake of getting just a few things. I'm going to go over there in a minute. For the sake of setting up just a few things, a few small areas, and I can totally appreciate that, so 4 it is. Content. I gotta give you props for making these engines, because they look very good. I gotta give you props for seeding the yard and the industries for the most part. And there's even like a passenger train, which I assume would have a head on it, but it does not, over there. that said, the depth pack that I received ended up breaking alpha textures on a lot of things that could have already been broken, but so I won't really banish you to the Shadow Realm because of that. But it needed to be said. And then a handful of the things, as I mentioned previously, are things from the Milwaukee Road DLC, which of course isn't your fault necessarily, as in, you know, I'm not saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that, but it is less accessible to other players, so that takes away a little bit in terms of points. On the other hand, the content itself is all very nice. I know you even reskinned some buildings for this, if I recall correctly, and the getting of the stuff. You know, you did create a dependency pack for me, I should say, and that was quite good. I'm very appreciative of that. I know you're probably looking at this and going, oh my god, there's so much stuff missing. Yeah, well, there was only so much I could do to fix stuff. Oh, hey, you just wrote, oh, it might be the depths, yeah, it is. Sorry, dude. I'm already into it. But content, I think I'm going to give you a 5. And I'm not sure if that's generous or pessimistic, and I feel like it's kind of both, so I think it's a good compromise. It's neither good nor bad. Although it's not really good. It's a 50 out of 100 generally. That's a failing grade. But point is, it's middle of the road. I don't give zeros usually, but the idea with this is I've got you know, I was given most of the stuff in a dependency pack, which is good. The rest of it I could get online, but for the most part, you know, I was left with a lot of things that I could not get a hold of without you specifically handing them to me, so that is an issue, nonetheless, no matter what. Alright, we're gonna couple up with these cars, and then we'll get to size. Make sure the handbrake is not set on any of these. Release. Release. Alright, so that's good. We're gonna go pull these and put them behind the building. Actually, let me do this so I'll get the lights on the other end. These all have very nice interiors as well. I appreciate that. So anyways, size. Let's look at the map once again. So this map, it's a good size for the amount of track it has. It's not too small, as in it's not too close to the edge for track on most of these. Obviously this runs off the edge, but these guys being this distance from the edge, you know, that's fine by me. At the same time, I don't feel like this section was necessary yet. This section, or any of this. You basically, I feel like I have to defend myself on this. I have to defend myself in every sort of judgment I make, because I would be a bad judge if I just decided things arbitrarily. But when it comes to building a route, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, and that leads to burnout particularly quickly. And this is not a piece of advice to you, it's a piece of advice to everybody. And so normally I base size, the size criteria, if there isn't a size criteria specifically set for what's going on. I base the size criteria on, okay, how much is done out of how much is present. I don't really need to, I don't need to say it, but not a lot is done out of what is present. So, the size, as for size, I think that's another solid 3, or maybe even a 2, but I'm going to give you a 3. Because some areas of the map are very well done, but there is a lot of map present that is very clearly not, you know... Oh, I'm still going in reverse. There's a lot of map present that's very clearly not, hardly even touched. So. Here's a little bit of a stylistic or, something else sort of issue. To get into these tracks here, to get into this lead here, either I have to go back down here, which this should be like a runaround or something, back down here and then into here, which I can't do because all of these tracks are industry tracks and are blocked, or I have to drive out onto the main line and pull in this way, which that shouldn't be good. The yard throat should extend probably down to here and then beyond to give you a lead to push cars into the area here. There shouldn't be a situation where every single track, including tracks that would otherwise be through tracks like this one, are blocked by stopped cars. That is not good. In fact, I'm going to dock a point off Trackwork for that. Because it's very interesting the way you set it up, but it's not any good in terms of how tracks should be laid out. It's too complicated to do anything. Or, it makes it very difficult. It makes it more of a switching puzzle, which I can get that, but it's not good, I guess. I would like it a lot more if there were just a few tweaks to make it easier to get around over there. Because for the most part, all of the sidings make sense. It's just all siding, not anything else. Now, the other thing, next thing, is time. Time, ticking away. The moments that make of the dull day. There's been a lot of time spent with this route. And I really wish the switch stand would show up so that I could throw it. There. You know what, let me do this real quick. Now we get headlights on, we get permission to leave the yard. Was there a signal somewhere that I didn't see, or was it an invisible signal? Because there should be an actual signal here. Anyways. Time. Yeah, you've had a lot of time with this map. There's not a lot done for the amount of time that's been spent with this map. So, honestly, I should sort of digress speaking directly at you, Mason, because that's not what I want to do. I want to just make a sort of objective statements. I want to make objective statements about the map in general. There's been a lot of time spent on the map, and not a lot of work has been done. Obviously, because other projects got in the way, but it doesn't impress me. It's not a thing. I don't. Again, the reason why I want to make objective statements is don't take it personally. But the idea of the time constraint in a situation, or in one of these route reviews as opposed to a competition, is a constraint or a point total that is based on the amount of time that is spent on the route versus the amount that is spent on the route. So there has been plenty of time spent, or plenty of time spent with the route, but not a whole lot that's been actually done on it in terms of work. So that said, I can't really give better than a 5, and honestly it should probably be less than that, but I think I'm going to just have to give a 5 because I'm feeling a little bit generous today. So, next thing is stock/era. So, bonus points for the fact that A, you've got reskin stuff, B, you utilize all this really nice JR stock, and C, that it's all sort of homogeneous. Everything makes sense. There's nothing that sticks out to me and say, well, that's clearly out of era, that doesn't belong here. Everything works. So stock/era should be good, except you have the DLC stock, or there's the DLC stock. I'm not sure if there's too much variation between loaded and unloaded. I can't really get into that. honestly, it's okay. You know, it's fairly good, I feel like, and there'd be more cars if I could see them all. So I can't really fault you for that. I guess. Also, oh, you deserve points for this, though. You did this all over. You sunk the track into the ground very subtly so that it's pretty much resting right on the thing. Is this a derailer? Is this gonna derail me? Okay, there we go. Wait, this doesn't have a switch stand. God damn it. Switch stand missing here. Well, that takes away the point that I was going to give you. Yeah, I'm not going to hold that until I'm all the way across. That would have been obnoxious. So, Stock Just Era, you know what? I'm going to give you an 8. Because I think you deserve an 8. It's all very good in terms of what you've gathered to put on this route. Now, next is World. So, let's talk about the geography of this area for a minute. First of all, it's flat. That's one thing. Second of all, actually, you know, it sort of fits. But second of all, you've got these rivers, and the rivers work fairly well. You have these rivers converging here. They flow in this direction. And all these little islands at their convergence, which makes an awful lot of sense. And I don't see very often in big rivers and trains. The rivers themselves are massive, which I love. And then it narrows down. You've got drawbridges. You've got, you know, this little creek here, which is good. The roads are, of course, top-notch, because they are, because they have to be, because it's Mason. With, you know, even things like Jersey barriers on the roads, these gantries, you know, the fences. Oh, hey, the cars are coming now. This intersection that, you know, he put together himself. Oh my God, it's incredible. It's extremely well done in terms of world. You know, the detail isn't spread across the route, but you know, there's definitely potential here. You know, I've asked questions usually like, oh, does the road go to the end of the map? Does the you know, sort of geography, terrain makes sense. I already covered the terrain bit, that does. But we've got stuff like this, where we have, you know, a quarter of a cloverleaf that's under construction for this highway. And so I know that I don't have to worry about the realism of this map. And that makes me extremely happy. That makes me extremely happy. So, honest to God, even though this misses the hallmarks, and because it makes me so happy. Even though this misses the hallmarks of the things that I usually look for in a world score, and honestly, I can't do the switching maneuver I wanted to do because there's no switch stand here. You know what? I'll just go put these guys over there. Even though it's just the hallmarks of a world score, like things necessarily going to the edge of the map, things. You know, portals, things like that. I am hesitating on giving this a 10 out of 10. Because I know that when this is worked on more, when it's done, just based on what I've seen, I know that it's going to be incredible. It's going to fill in all of those gaps that it has not yet filled in. You know, because it's the world is being designed from not from a modeler's point of view almost. It's more from an engineer's point of view. And frankly, it's incredible. You know, I don't have much else to say. It's amazing in terms of the detail that's been applied here, even though it's in small sections. It's, you know, it's very clear. Oh, you know what? These guys probably have their... the detail that's been applied is incredible. And honestly, you know, I've been harsh on this map because it's barely done. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna deliberate on it anymore. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Here's the other thing. This is a bonus point right here. WK, Warwick Railway. Totally worth it. It's a bonus point. It's a bonus point number 3. Also, another bonus point for that clover leaf, because that's coming along incredibly well. So anything else I can give bonus points for? Is this another drawbridge? Cool. Oh. Wait, hold on. How come I can't control right click on this? Oh, okay. There is an interlocking tower. There's an interlocking tower that... Okay, that's awesome. It's set up to deal with boats, I would assume. That's incredible, Mason. That's a very inventive way of doing this. So, I'm not just going to give a bonus point for that. Actually, I am. Because I don't know where else I would fit. Because it's not really an operations... I mean, I guess it is, but it's not really. This is good. Oh, that comes with the thing, doesn't it? Is that something you built? Let's see if it's identical over here. Same bridge. Is it the same bridge? I don't even know. I'm going to assume he added those. Because they look like splines. I should investigate that later. I ended up with a bunch of new stuff that I can play with, so that's another thing. I love doing these route reviews because of that. Yeah, it's the same bridge. The other one just has the things added. Alright, so with that done, we can total this up. We can look over this map one more time. I'll do another flyover. So there's these JR buildings, this one in particular, that one in particular. He's done these intersections with his road stuff. He has this little spur that runs down here, that's nice. Another one of his engines. Parking lot, see that's the kind of detail I was looking for. More of these engines. These high hood versions, which look really cool. I should have taken one of those out. I think I can open these. And then I can drive through if I wanted to. Let's back this guy in as I talk about this. But you know, I need to put an engineer in him. What the hell are you? What's your name? Kiko. Oh, seriously? It's... Okay. I thought it was long and forward for a minute. Backing you into this. So a 9, a 3, an 8, a 4, a 5, a 3, a 5, and an 8, a 10, and a 5. So, I feel like in some things have been fairly lenient, in other things have been fairly strict. Overall, if you think this is a fair assessment, say so in the comments. If not, say so in the comments. And so let's tally them up. So 9 plus 3 plus 8 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus 5. So that's a solid 60. Correct me if I did my math wrong. But that's a solid 60. For a route that is barely a fledgling, that is an extremely good score. And basically what it says to me is that, despite the fact that there is so little of this route done, the areas that are done have so much polish that it's very clear that that sort of the well-doneness will extend to the whole route at one point. So I feel like to sometimes say, oh, you know, it's got a lot of potential is sort of a brushing aside of whatever the situation is, especially if it's a negative situation. But in this case, I'm certain that that is true. Because I can see the beginning of things that will look very good when they're done. And even the switching monstrosity. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Trainman out.